Each morning I wake up already in my makeup, 'cause I'm the governor for you. I'm passing a bill now, well, sporting a 4-inch heel now, 'cause I'm the governor for you. Forever and ever I'll stay in your hearts, and you will love me together. Forever we never will part. Oh, how you love me forever and ever. That's how it must be to live without me. Would mean no gas pipeline for you. I'm writing a book now. I fish and I'm shooting a big cow, 'cause I'm the governor for you. I cut tax, reduce crime, and giving birth all at the same time, 'cause I'm the governor for you. Forever and ever I'll stay in your hearts, and you will love me together. Forever, that's how it must be. Oh, how you love me together. Forever, that's how it must be to live without me. Would mean no gas pipeline for you. This is Governor Sarah Palin here saying howdy. It's so wonderful to be here in the beautiful state of Alaska. I can't say how wonderful it is to raise a family here too. Hey, you want to meet my family? Here's Piper and oh, Hyper. We have Sniper, Wiper, and our latest edition. Ah, who could forget Diaper? Gosh, look at that. What a beautiful scenery, too. As a matter of fact, if you look out my window right there, you can just see it if you close your left eye. It's Russia. Wave. Hello, Russia. I see you. Oh, and have you met my stud muffin, Todd there? What a fast motorcycle driving snow machine and stud he is, huh? Hey, don't forget, what's the difference between me and a pit bull? Well, besides 100 pounds and a bingo jacket, a little bit of lipstick. And not only that, but I don't have a habit of wiping my hiney on the carpet if it itches or if I have worms, but that's a whole nother story. Oh, gosh, it's great to be here in Alaska. But you know what? I've got my eye on the prize for 2012. Me for president, get this. And that's right, Joe Plummer going with me all the way. All right, everybody, it's been nice talking to you. I got to get a hold of the Russians. Bye-bye, pageant wave. Wrist, wrist, elbow. Wrist, wrist, elbow. Oh, gosh, Alaska's great.
That actually sounded like more people than are from Homer. So thank you all for being here tonight. I so appreciate it. This is the inaugural More Up North show, and we are so happy to be starting a program that's about Alaska, you know, before the pipeline, during the pipeline, and how we're going to get another one. And so we're so glad you're here. And if you just watched, I'm so glad that Alice Welling, who actually is proof that something good can come out of the Alaska beauty pageant circuit, she just did a brilliant, brilliant song about our ex-governor, and appreciate her help on that. Make sure that you look every week for her little spots. So I want to thank all of you for being here. There's so much going on right now. We've got elections coming up over the next year, and you know, this week was kind of a big one. We had President Obama in town. I know, I never thought I'd get to say that. I actually worked very hard to be able to just say President Obama, you know, much less saying he was in town. So anyway, he was greeted by some of our less than savories. You know, this last year has brought out all sorts of extremes in Alaska. And last fall we saw the biggest political rallies Alaska had ever seen in the anti-Sarah Palin rallies. And you know, the other side found their own voice in the teabagger movement. So they were there to greet the president, and we've got some clips of that. We're going to be watching that, and then we're going to come back with our illustrious panel. They're going to be fantastic. You're going to love meeting them if you don't know them already, but I think you probably already will. So we'll be right back after this. Oh, welcome back to More Up North here on KYES. I'm Shannyn Moore, and we are upstairs at Bernie's Bungalow Lounge, and it's very bump up a chow chow. You'll have to come by when we're filming and have an adult beverage and hang out. We just can't show them on television. So welcome back, our panelists here. Vince Beltrami, President of AFL-CIO. Julie Hasquet, Press Secretary to Senator Mark Begich.
But representing herself.
Thank you.
Disclaimer.
Yes.
Well, you got to, because what if you said something like...
Bad. Yeah.
Yeah. And gubernatorial candidate Bill Walker. So we were talking right before we went to the break about healthcare, how it's really crippling America and how it does scare people. People are living in like, oh, is that a lump? Oh, well, never mind. I don't need a pre-existing condition. I interviewed a woman here, Lenny Moran, who people remember she was attacked with a machete out in the valley. And she has a pre-existing condition. It's called attempted murder. She was hit over 50 times with a machete. I mean, this is insane because the person who's in jail who attacked her he's one of the only Americans that has the constitutional right to have health care provided for him. When we lock people up, we have to give them health care. It's cruel and unusual punishment to not give them health care. Yet if they're attacked by someone and don't have insurance, well, they're kind of on their own. And so looking at just sort of the ridiculousness of that and just taking out all the partisanship, you were saying that you thought that there would be a solution. And you really made it sort of Alaska-based. So how could we possibly pay for health care for Alaskans? I mean, do you take the permanent fund and turn it into an insurance policy? Do we actually decide to have a gas line? Please, God. I mean, we promise not to waste it this time. Or how are we going to do that? And I know that you've been such an advocate for the gas line.
I have, and I look at all the issues that are important to Alaska, important to me, and important to our families and children, and so many of them get so much greater. Whatever issue, pick your issue, it becomes so much greater and so much bigger and unmanageable if we don't develop our resource, if we don't get our gas to Alaskans and gas to the market, if we don't use that resource. So I mean, healthcare is certainly one example, and there's so much that we aren't going to be able to do as we sit here with a 2/3 empty oil pipeline, with 85% of our revenue coming from that, and we're waiting for the phone to ring on the gas line rather than acting like the Alaskans that we are and making it happen. Step up and say, we're going to do this ourselves. We still are Alaskans. The last time I checked, Governor Egan had it correct in 1970. He said we need to take control of the oil line and do it ourselves. We should get the revenue. We should do it. And here we sit 32 years later. And at that point, they had a special session. Very lively debate with lots of statesmen and legislature, and here we are 32 years later, waiting for the phone to ring, for somebody else to take care of our future. So healthcare is one issue. Education, there's a number of them that become manageable, and we can begin to address some of them on a state level. I'm not saying that we should take over what the federal government does, but we should do what we can do. We shouldn't sit back and wait for Congress to take care of our problems. I'm not a big believer of that. I mean, we didn't have that before statehood. We shouldn't have it now. We need to be a part of the solution.
Well, I think we need to partner with the feds to a certain extent, though. And after this week, where our top 4 Republican officials for the state, a senator, a congressman, the governor, and lieutenant governor decided that they had better things to do than meet the president on Alaskan soil. The first time he's ever going to touch down here. Not a state he carried, for maybe some obvious reasons. But I don't know how we're going to be able to get that sort of Republican leadership when they won't even, go and greet the president and say, welcome to Alaska, Mr. President. And,
by the way, I want to talk
work.
to you about the gas line.
Yeah,
right?
Or by the way, we've got this gas line, or you know what, see all
Absolutely.
these people freezing their bums off here in this hangar? Well, you know what? They're freezing their bums off at home too. We really need to talk about getting gas to Alaskans. And really talking about that.
And the short-sightedness of that view, to me, it's unexplainable and it's inexcusable, because we are a state that relies more on federal help than just about any state in the country. And the people that have been elected to represent us, they've got a duty to look to our senators, to Congress, to the President, to try to get help. There's a lot of things that we need help on the federal level from, Denali Commission being one of them. There's a lot of things in rural Alaska where Alaskans are hurting out there, where we're only going to get a lot of that help from the federal system. And to me, there's, if you will, it's a little bit of a slap in the face to the Commander-in-Chief.